Well, I feel like I haven't really sat down and told my life story. And I think it's time. So, growing up, I was very fortunate to have, you know, my dad and my family alongside me. For those of you that don't know, my dad is a professional hitting coach for the Cleveland Guardians. He's been there for over 28 years. He did have a stunt playing in professional ball. He did get up to AAA. That's just kind of a little bit of a background with my dad. It's fairly important, and he's really shaped me into the man I am today. My mom, she helps out around home when my dad is not around. He's fairly not around a lot, obviously because work tends, that's what he has to do to feed the family. So yeah, my name is Angel, and I come from a small town in Jersey. Out here is a little bit different. In this city, there's how can I say it? A big standard put in place where it's like you can't really chase your dreams. Like you're just stuck to that 9-to-5 lifestyle, wanting more but never really going out there and get it. A lot of people from here do want to tend to, get to that rich status and have all the cool cars and stuff, but don't really know how to get there. And the only reason I say that is because, you're a product of your own environment. And I feel like that mindset lingers around where I am a lot. And that was kind of why I created my brand, Bane, to break off that negative energy and just break off all that negativity around you, and really chasing your goals, your dreams, and going after whatever it is that you want in life. So just growing up, I bounced around from a lot of different cities. I grew up in New York originally. I was born in New York. I lived in New York until I was about 11, 12. And I moved out here to Jersey. And every summer I'd go and I'd spend all my summers with my dad, wherever he would be at. So that was in Arizona. I lived in Arizona for every summer until I was about, I'd say maybe 13, 12. Then he got transitioned to AA. AA is in Akron. I spent my summers there. He won a championship. That was so cool to see. That was about until I was maybe 15, 16, all the way from like maybe 13, 14 years old, I believe so. Yeah, he was in Akron, and Akron is a great city. It was really cool. The stadium is nice and all of that. And just growing up in the organization, it really allowed me to see these players and just having them feel like an older brother to me, that older person, that role model to look up to. And that was just so cool and just so inspiring just to see their progress and their story. And it's like, they come from all parts of the world. Some players are from Venezuela, New York, Colombia, Dominican Republic. And just seeing how those players adapted and grew in the system while I was also growing, it was just like, I really see this guy as my older brother. And it was just kind of a big inspiration, a big role model. Like, they really taught me a lot about life. Like, when I say, like, these guys, like, they're my brothers, like, I really hold it near and dear to my heart, because I'd spend every summer wherever my dad was at. And most of the times, wherever my dad was at, all the players from Arizona to, the ones that I was specifically close with, they'd transition also. So, they'd get called up, and from Arizona, they went to Akron, and it's like I've known them for my whole life. So, yeah, so after my dad was done in Akron, he moved up to AAA. From 16 to about, when I was 16, so that was around, 4 years ago. And just last year, he got called up to the majors as an assistant hitting coach. So my dad right now is currently in the major leagues as an assistant hitting coach for the Cleveland Guardians. And, seeing my dad work for his dreams since he was 16 years old, getting signed to play professional ball, coming from a small town in Dominican Republic and him having to work his ass off for over 28 years to reach his goal that he's made in life, like, that has really pushed me to the man that I am today, to really go after whatever it is that I want to do in life. And I just never give up because, I've never seen my dad give up. My dad worked for almost 30 years to reach his goal, so, why should I put a limit on time for mine? And just that being said, I feel like growing up around the organization and just knowing the game of baseball, I didn't get to play in college. I was just, honestly, I wasn't in shape, and that plays a big role in college. So just growing up around the organization, I always connected to these players. I always seen the analytical information. I seen what my dad would talk about when I'd be in the cage. I'd take batting practice sometimes when I was able to, obviously before the players had to, but I'd be in there fairly a lot. And the days that I wasn't taking batting practice while I was playing baseball back in high school and, just training, honestly, I just really listened a lot. And just listening and seeing how these players communicated to their coaches and the coaches communicated to their players, and being in the office when the coaches had something they wanted to say to the players but didn't know how to come off with it without really impacting the players' mindset, because that's also a big thing when coaches want to relay information to a specific player, the way that that player can handle the information, because a lot of players learn from analytics, a lot of players learn from videos, a lot of players learn from feeling, a lot of players learn many different ways. Everybody's learning curve is different. So just being in that office and hearing that back and forth conversation between coaches, between how the players are feeling. I've had plenty of conversations with players when they've told me, hey, damn, they really, they get very deep with me. And I just appreciate that a lot because, as a kid growing up in the clubhouse, you're always the little brother. And, and just having those conversations really just showed me that they're people too. These players that you might see on TV, they're normal, just like us every day. They all overthink, they all go through struggles. They all have the great times. And that's just what it is. That's just what's life about. So just being in this role, really, when it came down to finishing maybe freshman year, I already knew what I wanted to do. I want to become a MLB GM, a general manager for the Cleveland Guardians specifically. And I say for the Cleveland Guardians specifically because I've grown up around the organization. And just being in that space just really has pushed me to go to that organization. And I'm going to do it no matter what. So, yeah, that's really my goal. Just a little goal that I accomplished just yesterday. I got into Rutgers University. The goal there is to be a student manager for the baseball team. And yeah, everything's going great. I'm really proud of myself and just really proud of the person that I'm becoming. And little by little, I get to see what all my hard work and all my effort has really turned into. Just because of the fact that I can really grow into somebody that people can look at professionally and respect. And I feel like that plays a big role in my life because, sometimes I do feel like a lot of people may look down on me just because of the fact that I come from a small town, but a lot of people don't know the places that I've been, the connections that I've been so grateful to even be made. I've been to 2 home run derbies, 2 all-star games. I've had a countless of great experiences, and I'm truly grateful for it all. I'm truly grateful for my dad, my family, and it's I am a full-time college student. I am building my brand. I'm building a business, and yeah, I can't say that I don't be stressed a lot of times, but theoretically, I really do. Life is hard. Nobody's really gonna go out there and get it for you, and for the people that believe that just because my dad is in a different job and career, every family goes through stuff. Every family, just you want more, my dad also wants more for himself. I also want more for myself. And I've worked the job since I was 16, so I've never had anything handed to me other than me having to go out and get it. My dad has put me in the rooms, but my dad has never been able to speak for me, And I've had to take that upon myself because nobody's just gonna hand it to me. I cannot take my dad's opportunity and this opportunity that I have in life for granted. So, if I have to come out of my comfort zone sometimes, and if I have to talk to people with a really big high status and I'm not sure how to, be presented in a professional manner, dressing nice, speaking properly, and just knowing about the game, that plays a huge part, especially in the space that I'm heading into today, just because of the fact, this is the next chapter of my life. This next chapter of my life requires me to be disciplined, work 10 times harder. The same reason that I'm here and the same effort that it took me to get here is the same effort times 10 that it'll take to flip the next page. And I'm honestly ready for it all. I want to take it all head on. I'm truly grateful for everything that God has been able to bless me with and, put these opportunities and land me in front of the right doors. And it's just been great. And just looking maybe to myself in the next few years, I'm going to look back at this and I'm going to, really, really be proud of myself just because of the fact that I kept going and that I didn't let a lot of people's, thoughts get into my head. I feel like this is what I really want to do, and this is what I've really wanted to do from my whole life. And I feel like I'm honestly ready. I'm growing into the man I want to be, and I want to take it head on in life. I feel like this is really where it all starts to plan out for me. And yeah, I'm just a small kid from a small town now, but later on in life, I just won't be so small. I know that I'm going to play into that role and become that man where, proper status, dresses nice, speaks better, works 10 times harder. And I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it because there's really nobody that can stop me but myself. And if it's up to me, it's a piece of cake because there's not really anything that will get in my way. I'm not going to let anything affect me. See my dad work 30 years for his goals. Who am I to say that I can't, go after mine? It's been right in front of my face the whole time, my whole life. This is just really what's meant for me. I know this might come off as a new person to you guys, just because of the fact that I don't really like to talk about this. Just, growing up throughout high school and middle school, a lot of people will ask me, yo, can I get a bat? Yo, can I get this? Yo, can I get that? But, and I always looked at that. That was super cool, and I'm super blessed to be able to be in those rooms where, sometimes I can help somebody out by giving them professional baseball, just little stuff like that. And sometimes I'd get uncomfortable because of the fact that people would ask me for that stuff, and I had to grow into that person where it's like, hey, these people want something from you. They don't want to get to know you. They don't want to be your friend. They just want to take advantage of the opportunity you have. And just, taking it all with a grain of salt, being nice to everybody because, I'm no better than anybody. I'm in the same shoes as you are. I'm in the same shoes as, she is. We're all just, living through life, going through it. And if I can make somebody smile with my content, with even just listening to this life story and getting people to be inspired and go after their dreams, go after their goals, and do anything that they can put their minds to, then, my job really here is, is getting fulfilled. If I can really put that place and show that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter where you started, as long as you just work every single day towards your goals, your dreams, and you put your 100% effort into it, you can truly reach wherever you want to be in life. And, it's you versus yourself at the end of the day. It's you versus yourself. Nobody's going to grab your foot and put it in front of the other. You have to go and do that yourself. And, just a little piece of advice. When a lot of people tell you that you can't do something, that should really push you to do it. You know how much times people, even my own family, you want to become an MLB GM, you know how hard that is? There's only 30 jobs of those in the MLB. I know that already. Why are you telling me the obvious? Yeah, there's 30 jobs, but I'm going to have one of them. So, it's having that self-belief, that confidence, and just knowing that you're going to do it. because in this world, you can take care of whatever it is that you want to do. You can be that person. You just have to go out there and get it. You have to strive. You have to have that ambition, that hustle, and just go after it, no matter what anybody says, man. There's going to be a whole bunch of people that are going to try to talk down on you. Like, you just cannot listen to it. Do not let it get into your head. Do not. Do not. Do not. Because these people haven't been what you've been through. These people haven't, seen what it is. They haven't put a foot in your shoe. Why let them, whatever they got to say, if they don't even know the real? And yeah. This is really the next chapter of my life, and right here is where a lot of things change. And honestly, I'm ready for it all.